It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to The Local Show. It's the 2023 early spring edition, and I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my good friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. On The Local Show, we feature conversations about local businesses. We talk with the business owners and the CEOs, the CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, basically anybody who will talk to us, we'll talk with in a business-friendly organization. We talk about how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You will hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Good weekend to Steve Roberts. How are you there?
I'm doing all right, Tom. I like that we talk about business owners. Like, shh, did you see what they did? Ooh, I like that better.
Tons to talk about, right? We get the skinny.
It's true. We get the inside track.
The scoop. So, we're not too far away. Home show coming up next week, and we're going to be live there, aren't we?
Yeah, next weekend. We're going to be right there live at the home show. So
sure.
Don't expect it to be fancy. All those fun things you mix in, Tom, it'll probably be more like noise. But that's okay. We'll be there.
Yeah, I was scoping out the place because we had gone to the RV show. And that was nice.
Did you buy an RV, Tom?
No. I think I was more enamored with how they got the RVs in the exposition center.
There's the big
nose
door.
To nose, back to back.
Yeah, there's a huge, ginormous door at the end of it.
But it's got to be like a giant game of Jenga. Because it's, they are really packed in there.
Well, we did a fast forward. Brad did it last year at the Syracuse Nationals.
Of moving in the cars.
Moving in, the cars were like, I was like, wow. So
it's amazing.
They got to figure it out.
Yeah, they do. And
so you didn't make easy monthly. It's only $600 a month from Now Till Jesus Comes. You didn't sign one of those things.
Well, we're still looking at it.
He's still okay. All right.
There might be possibilities. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, great show today, so stick around. We're going to have a lot of interesting conversations. We'll start off with Lisa Romano Moore. She's the executive director at the Onondaga Historical Association. And then Dr. Nicole Anzalone stops by, owner of Syracuse Hearing. Joe Silvani is the general manager of the Rice Box, and they might bring food. That'd be nice, huh?
That would be nice.
Michael Johnson is the owner of Pro Snow Removal. And then Vittorio Pasquarella. He's one of your people.
He's not one of my people.
One of my people.
I'm sure we'll figure out he's your cousin.
Yes, exactly. We're related somewhere. He's the vice president of Pasquarella Development and Management. He'll be here. And then Bud Laura is the owner of the Restaurant QB. John Kupperman, owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. And then Christina Farrar is the education coordinator for the New York State Maple Association. And we'll have a conversation with her about Maple Weekends, all coming up on The Local Show. Right now, we say good morning, hearty, healthy good morning to Lisa Romano Moore. How are you?
I'm well. How are the two of you?
Hanging right
I'm better than Tom.
Oh, obviously.
Just to be clear.
Everybody's
an RV?
No. See, I don't need an RV to be better than Tom.
That's right. See, he has an internal thing where he just feels good about himself. I, however, am Italian, so
we're just always better.
Yeah. Or self-deprecating, either way. But that's me. So, Lisa, you've been the executive director for how long over at Onondaga Historical?
Since January 1st.
Great. How's it going?
Well.
Yeah. Like it?
Busy.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. What is your history? What led you to that job?
I actually was the director of development for 3 years.
Oh, okay. So you've been there, yeah.
So you asked for money.
I do ask for money.
Yeah,
you kind of have to do that in that job,
right?
With that title.
That's
Otherwise,
cool.
you don't have a job.
What is the organization all about? I think one of the things that I had asked you before that I didn't realize is that it's not just one place. You have several different places.
Right. We kind of stretch the county from the Scano Great Law of Peace Center, which is the Haudenosaunee Cultural Center out on the Parkway, and the Bruseum at the other end of the county, down at the south end of the county in Pompey at Heritage Hill.
Oh, right, over at Heritage Hill. Yeah, that's kind of neat.
We're at the airport.
I love the I love that.
Yeah.
I love that museum, the aviation museum behind the piano and organ.
Yes.
Back in there. I love that.
Yeah, and then we're in the War Memorial. So all of those really cool costumes and pictures.
How's the French Fort coming? It's the question. It's like when we were kids, it was the French Fort.
That's how everybody remembers it.
And you would take a school bus there.
Is that where the Haudenosaunee thing is now?
Yeah,
good.
So it's basically, the French Fort was kind of not an accurate portrayal.
Correct. But it was a field trip where you could pretend you were,
you
Daniel Boone.
Yeah. And then the Scano Great Law of Peace Center is actually the Haudenosaunee perspective on that.
Okay.
So what it meant, what it was like to interact and
that's interesting.
Encounter the Jesuits, and vice versa.
When you guys bring on displays, or how do I want to say, you have tours and all that.
Yeah.
Do you have like history experts that work for the association?
We do. We have archivists and curators, and we have a curator of history, Bob Searing.
Okay.
Bob is often on the air on other networks.
Yeah, sure.
And we write. We're in the newspaper. We do social media. So we have the chops. We have people who are trained and have academic credentials in history and archiving.
I see.
We have millions of pieces.
So it's
in our
accurate.
collection.
You're not making stuff up.
Yeah.
No.
Just when she's on the show.
No, but feel free to check.
So what's new that's old?
What's new that's old? We have a really cool project that we're doing with the city schools this spring. And, younger kids don't necessarily know that why we're called the Salt City. They don't know that there were salt sheds in the inner, what is kind of now the Inner Harbor and where the fairgrounds are.
Yeah.
So all of the fourth graders in the city school district are going to learn about the salt making history here. And they're going to do so in a couple of different ways. They are going to visit the Syracuse Salt Company.
Do you know we know a little about that?
That's why I brought it up.
There we go.
I didn't find this out until last time, and I was already done with my interview.
Lori here from our office, her brother, that's her brother's company.
Right. Yeah.
And their salt is...
It's really very good and healthy.
It's very healthy.
Thank you. I didn't know where to go. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's produced from a brine well that has been here for probably centuries. Yeah,
isn't that incredible?
Yeah. So the kids are going to tour the Syracuse Salt Company, and they're going to tour the Salt Museum. But the other half of this project is that in the classroom, they're going to learn about the history of salt making. How the immigrants came here and worked with the salt and how that happened. And they're going to learn how it was made. A lot of people don't really know how salt is made. We have salt. So they're going to learn about the evaporation method because Syracuse Salt is going to provide some brine. And the kids are going to have a 7-day project where they experience the evaporation method of salt. They're going to have little salt beds.
What people don't know is prior to refrigeration,
that's how you stored stuff.
That was how you stored things.
Yeah.
It was salt.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that because before, we had a refrigerator.
Sure.
Yeah. It contributed to our success in the Civil War.
Yeah.
Being able to control that commodity really helped us.
That's a lot of history right here. Yeah. Hey, what sources of funding does the Onondaga Historical Association rely on?
We have a membership. We have about 1,200 members. We do special events a couple times a year. We have our OHA medal ceremony coming up in May. And we do a project called National History Day, which our donors and members support. It's a high school level competition of Central New York high schools. And it's coming up on March 18th. We thank our friends at OCM BOCES for hosting the kids.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like you got a lot going on. We'll get people out to enjoy the history of our area.
Come see us.
Definitely. Lisa Romano Moore right there, Executive Director of the Onondaga Historical Association. thank you so much for stopping by, and you have a great rest of the day, okay?
You too as well. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Dr. Nicole Anzalone, audiologist and owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.